around ligament pain is a fairly common yet really painful symptom of pregnancy. So it usually presents as groin pain right at the base of the pelvis to one side of the pubic bone, but it can also radiate up into the hips and the abdomen as well. So what we're going to do today is focus on stability of that pelvis. We'll do some gentle stretching and gentle mobility exercises, but nothing deep or end range in terms of stretching. I also would like you to be mindful of throughout your day how you're moving in and out of positions. So especially getting up from sitting down in a chair and rolling over in bed during the night. Try to do these movements slowly, engaging your muscles before you move. And it's also a good idea to sleep with a cushion or a pillow between those knees, which creates a bit more stability and support for your pelvis and your lower back. So for our workout today, you'll need your mat and 2 big cushions or yoga bolsters if you have them. Now, just before we get started, if you're new to exercise during pregnancy and you don't know where to begin, I have a free prenatal health and exercise guide, which is a great way to start. I've listed a link to that down in the notes below. Let's start today kneeling on the mat. If you're not comfortable kneeling as I am now, you can take one of those pillows or bolsters and place it underneath your sit bones to give you a bit more support. So let's begin by reaching the arms beside us. Sit up straight. As you inhale, reach one arm to the ceiling and then exhale, side bend across. Use your inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Other side, inhale, reach, exhale, stretch. Good, coming up. And lower. Let's continue with those up and across. We're starting to create some mobility and some movement into the spine here. Good. And once we've freed up a little bit of tension and space in that upper back, we can then start to focus on creating that stability in the lower part of the back. That's it. Last one here. Reach it across. And release. And then sitting up straight again, let's interlace the fingers behind the head, open the elbows out wide. Now as we exhale, rotate that upper back to one side, draw your elbow behind you. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale other side. Again, just keep rotating with those. You might feel a little bit stiff or tight as you're reaching back, which is really common. Especially towards the end of pregnancy, we tend to get really tight through those shoulders and upper back. Last one coming up here on each way. And then once you've evened out, return to the center and release your arms. Just give those shoulders a few big rolls up, back, and down, releasing tension through the neck, those upper traps, and your back. And release. Good. Now let's bring our hands down onto the low belly, just supporting your baby from underneath. Now I want you to start by completely relaxing and releasing your core and your pelvic floor. Just let everything go. Good. Now from there, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to lift and engage the pelvic floor muscles and gently hug your core muscles in and around the waist. And then release really slowly with control and take another breath in. Exhale to lift and engage. Inhale to release. Good, let's keep practicing that. So anytime we're experiencing tension in the pelvis or the lower back, especially during pregnancy, it's a sign that the muscles are not activating and functioning correctly. So whilst we hear so much about engaging the pelvic floor and doing our Kegels and contracting them throughout pregnancy, it is equally, if not more important, to learn to release those muscles as well. Now, if you're worried about whether you're contracting your pelvic floor muscles correctly, the best thing I can do to cue you is to think about cutting off flow of urine if you're going to the bathroom, and also stopping yourself from passing gas at the back. So you want to feel like your pelvic floor is connecting at both the front and the back of the pelvis. That's it. Now on the next one, let's engage and hold. Hold that connection. Now let's do 5 quick little pulses up with the pelvic floor. Up and lift. 3, 2, 1. Hold that connection And then slowly release it all the way out. Completely relax. Focus on letting go. Focus on that release. Well done. Now let's make our way over into all fours kneeling. So place your hands flat down on the mat under shoulders. Your knees are down underneath your hips, and we'll come into our cat stretch. Let's start in our neutral spine as we breathe in. As you exhale, start to round your spine, press away from the mat, drop the head, look down at the legs. And then reverse, we roll through neutral, starting to extend the spine now. We lift the chest, we lift the tailbone. And again, exhale, rounding that spine, coming up. And then releasing with control, and just keep those going. So again, we're trying to create movement in the spine, but safely, so there's no load or pressure on the lower back here. One more coming up each way. Now, once you have evened out, let's come back into that neutral spine. Press up away from the mat so you've got that strong support up between the shoulder blades. Now let's think of hugging your core muscles in and around the waist, lift through the pelvic floor. So you feel like you're gently drawing your baby in towards you. Now hold that connection, float one arm straight out to the side. As you inhale, place that hand back down. And then let's change. Exhale, other arm reaches out. And then inhale to lower. So let's keep alternating those arms, lifting and lowering. As you're swapping over through the hands, that's where you really need to focus on that support and stability. So there is no rocking from side to side. Sit, keep engaging, hugging the muscles in as you reach the arm. On the next one, reach the arm to the side, hold it there. As you inhale, start to reach that arm forwards, and then exhale, circle it around and back. Two more only. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, back. Again, really focusing on that core connection. And back. And then open the arm to the side. And then lower. Take a little moment to reset. Good. Other side now. Reach the arm straight out. As you inhale, bring it forwards. Exhale to circle it back. Two more. Inhale to reach. Exhale, back. Good. Last one. And back. Then opening out again to the side. And release it down. From here, let's come up to a high kneeling position. As you're up here in high kneeling, I want you to think about tucking the tailbone under, just opening out those hip flexors or any tension across the front of the pelvis. And we'll come into our kneeling squat. As you inhale, reach your arms out in front, send your hips back towards the heels. As you exhale, come up to that high kneeling, engage your glutes, your bottom muscles, and think of reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. So let's continue now. Inhale back, exhale up. So this is a great exercise to start creating movement in the hips, but at the same time creating that stability for the pelvis and the lower back. Always think about lifting and engaging your pelvic floor as you're coming up. You can release it as you go back. Let's do three more. Inhale back. Exhale up. And two. Last one. Come down and hold that squat. So we're not sitting on the heels. We're about halfway back. Lean your chest slightly closer to the floor. Now reach those fingertips down in front of you. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend the elbows back into a row. Engage those middle and upper back muscles. As you inhale, release down. Exhale, pull up and lower. Now as you pull your elbows up, lift and engage your pelvic floor. Release it as you lower. Also thinking of hugging the baby up and in towards your spine. Everything is connecting and releasing. Let's do two more. And up. Release down. One more. And then release your arms. Come all the way back up to your high kneeling. And release. Well done. Take a seat down onto the mat. Now from here, just extend your legs out in front of you. Good. Sitting up tall on your sit bones, and we'll bend one leg in towards the pelvis. So here I want you to make sure that you can sit evenly on both sit bones. So make any adjustments that you need in order to get there. Now I want you to think about rotating your chest about halfway between the legs. We're going to reach those arms out in front. Stay here as you breathe in, and then exhale, just lean forwards a little bit until you feel that stretch through the back of the leg. Good. So we're not forcing it or reaching into that stretch as far as possible. It's just a gentle reach forward. Good. Feeling that release into the hamstrings, maybe a little bit in the inner thighs. Good. Hold that there for one more breath. And then release back to sitting. Now take that straight leg and open it a little bit wider to the side. Only if that feels comfortable. If it feels like it's pulling any tension on the pelvis, you bring the leg back into where it was. Once again, we extend the arms out in front. We take a breath in and then exhale, very gently lean into it. So this is a controlled stretch, a really soft release. Okay, so we do want to create a little bit of space for those muscles, but again, like I said, we don't want to force it. Perhaps leaning into it just a little bit more if you feel able. Let's hold here for one more breath. And then release. Good, well done. Very carefully bring that leg in and let's extend the other leg forwards. So we'll start by again having that leg just directly in front of you. Rotate your chest centered between those legs. Reach your arms in front. Now sitting up tall, we take a breath in. Exhale, just start to lean forwards into it. Only working within your range. Hold that there. 2 more breaths. Reaching and releasing. And then release back to sitting. Good. Now, if you can, we take that leg just a little bit wider. Again, like I said, we don't want to force it. Working again within your range. Reach your arms out in front. Breathe in. And then exhale. Reach it forwards. Good. Seeing if you can go a tiny bit further. Holding here, 1 more breath. Good, and release. Well done. Now let's bring our legs out in front. You're going to place those feet down about shoulder width apart. Your hands can rest behind you here. And what we're going to do is windscreen wiper our legs from side to side. Good, so creating a little bit of movement through the lower back and the hip joints here. But again, we take this really gently. It's a soft movement. Letting that knee drop inwards to create that internal hip rotation. We spend so much of our day and our life with our hips very laterally turned out, very externally rotated during pregnancy. So if you can create a little bit of movement the opposite way, it can help to release some tension. Good, last one here each way. Good, and then release. Now from here, I want you to take your 2 big pillows or yoga bolsters and just place them at the end of the mat. And we're coming into a supported hip lift. I'll show you how to get into this. You're going to lean your shoulder blades back against the pillows. Have your feet flat in front of you. Legs are about hip distance apart. I want you to take your hands behind your head to support your neck. So at no point do we want to be pulling forwards like we're doing a crunch. I need you to keep your spine in a nice straight line here. Drive through the heels of the feet, press through those heels, and then start to lift your hips here to a reverse tabletop. So you're about parallel to the floor. Now as you inhale, all we do is hinge the hips down. And then exhale, press them up. Inhale to lower down. exhale, lift. So let's continue with those. Let's check that the knees are staying parallel. So you've got them pointing straight up to the ceiling rather than opening sideways. Think about your core and your pelvic floor muscles engaging as you lift, and you're squeezing your glutes. Now, as you lower down, you can release the muscles with control as well. Good. So we usually do these hip lifts or bridge positions laying flat on the mat, but it's not a very safe position for women, especially at late pregnancy stages. We don't want to be creating an inversion. So being able to prop yourself up on a couple of cushions or bolsters like this just allows us to get the benefit of the exercise, good, whilst keeping it nice and safe. Let's do another 3 like this, really engaging those glute muscles here, your bottom, as you lift it up. 2. 1 more. Now lift up and hold. Just keep that head supported. Keep your back nice and straight. Hug your core muscles in. Lift through the pelvic floor. Now lower your hips down about halfway. Let's do a controlled pulse and lift. Squeeze and lift. Keep driving up through the heels. Use that breath. Exhale up for 5 and 4. Exhale, lift. 3. Good. 2. Last one. Now lift and hold. Keep that squeeze. Take a breath in. And then exhale, release all the way down. Now, once your hips are resting on the mat, grab the back of your thighs with your hands and use your arms to pull you up to sitting. All right, we'll finish off today kneeling back on the mat just as we started. Once you're comfortable here, let's interlace the fingers out in front. Press your palms forward and round your upper back. Really stretch out between those shoulder blades. You can drop your head down, chin to chest, to release the back of the neck. Now as you inhale, lift your arms up to the ceiling, open out your chest and look up. And then return to the middle, hold as you draw those arms then over to one side, creating space down through the side of the ribs. Come back up, and then other side, reach. Good, and up. And then open the arms down. Take the hands back to the belly, just like we started. Relax completely through the pelvic floor and the core. Just let it all go. Stay here as you breathe in. And again, as you exhale, find that connection. Lift and engage the core, the pelvic floor. Hug your baby up and in. Wrap the muscles towards the spine. And then practice that release. Very slowly let the muscles go. Let that pelvic floor drop. Well done. I hope you found this practice helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please pop them down below. Otherwise, I hope to see you back here again soon. I hope you enjoyed this practice today, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel. Now, if you'd like some more help along your pregnancy journey, you can access my prenatal course, free for 7 days. This walks you through exercises that we should be doing at every week and at every stage of the pregnancy. I've listed a link to that down below. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.